much snow outside.
Like I used to go to school in this snow.
Right. We got the big one. The Luther Vandross documentary finally came out. Let's go with you, Scott. What did you think about the documentary, man?
I actually loved it, but I still haven't finished it yet. But I'm like halfway through it. But I see why they bashing Patti LaBelle. You know, with the sexuality. You know, I guess she. But when did she say that? Was it after he died?
It was after he. It was after.
That was a couple of years ago.
It was after.
That was just recently.
So no, it was after he passed. And I mean, so what she said is she did say that. Yeah. But it's and even at that time, people were like, "Now, Patti, like, why? Like, it's if he kept it quiet." And it's like she's like, "Well, he didn't want to say anything while his mother was alive." Well, and then when she passed away, he still ain't say shit. So like,
she waited till his mother passed.
No, he allegedly he didn't want his mother to know. Like he essentially was never going to talk about it while his mother was alive. But regardless, it's not your business to tell. And everyone else who's in the documentary, no one really speaks to it. Like it's maybe I don't know. But the fact that she said it and she did it on Bravo with Andy Messy ass Cohen. So it just came off bad. And so people really felt the way about it. They were like that they felt like it was a betrayal. But I also get that though. It's like it was not your story to tell. Like regardless, if he wanted the world to know, he would have told people. And so if his close friends knew, that was for them to know.
It was just confidential.
It was confidential. It's not your story to tell. And he did now. What difference does it make? It makes a lot.
Like, and I didn't know that Dance with My Father was his first #1 hit. I didn't know that.
That's when he finally got the Grammy.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He had Grammys before that. It was #1 hit.
He just didn't have a #1 hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what did you think about it, Stacey, the documentary as a whole?
I loved it, but it also just kind of felt like a behind the music for me, like a VH1 behind the music. I don't know what else I expected, but it just felt like it could have been a behind the music for me. Like I don't feel like a bombshell was dropped. I think the biggest thing that people learned was just really how much background singing he did. Like we all knew that he did backgrounds for these amazing artists.
David Bowie.
Right.
Connect to the Wi-Fi network. You might want to check the connection settings.
Go ahead, Stacey.
I hate all of them. I hate all the electric.
Siri, Alexa.
All of them. I hate everybody. And make it so bad. That's Google. I didn't know she was still plugged in. I've been using Alexa. I didn't know she was still plugged in over there. But like I'm totally lost my train of thought. This happened to throw me out. But what was I saying? I don't even know. What the fuck was I talking about? What did I say?
It's like behind
it was behind the music.
Behind the music. So I just thought that like the biggest thing was like I said, learning who he sang backup for. So like I said, I knew that he had sang backup for Dionne Warwick, like a lot of people, but there were so many more that you're like, man, I didn't know. Or I didn't know that how many commercials he had done. He was singing about Miller Lite and making it soulful, baby. Why don't more black people drink Miller Lite? Like, sheesh. Like, what if he'd have been singing about St. Ides?
Ooh, Nate, we wouldn't have a Nate Dogg.
What if Luther would have sang the St. Ides theme instead of Nate Dogg? Okay, I'm just saying, like these are things that could have happened. And I also feel like with AI, we can bring it back.
Make that happen. The 80 St. Ides commercial.
But yes, it was because I liked it. It was, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about the documentary. And again, like I said, I don't know what else I wanted. But I just kind of don't feel like I learned a lot about him. like I learned about his career. And I guess, well, you know what? His personal life was personal. And that's why I didn't learn more about it.
It was like that when he was alive.
So like as I'm sitting here saying that, I'm like, I didn't learn about his personal. Well, you know why? Because he kept it to himself.
Who was that? Was that Oprah that used to always just get the Luther interviews most of the time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he'll just show, shopping, his gym, because he'll lose weight, when he could do his crash diet.
Hold on, y'all. Imagine Luther singing this.
Just hit the corner store. You know what I'm looking for.
Negro spiritual.
Man.
Hold on. But we did miss out potentially on what if Luther was getting on rap track stuff? Or I wonder if somebody asked him to be on a track.
If he hadn't had that stroke, I think he would have did some hip hop, some features.
She said, Soul Survivor would have had Luther Vandross on her instead of Akon?
No, but he may have sang on Excuse Me, Miss.
Ooh, I can see that. Or what's that LL song that sound like Excuse Me, Miss? Damn, the one with the Pharrell, maybe smile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love you better. Love you better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, but it's which goes into what them saying, like once hip hop and rap started entering the charts, then it kind of started pushing him out. But to that point, there were still R&B artists who were still succeeding during that time. It's just having to switch it up a little bit. And if you're not willing to adapt, you're not going to continue to be successful. So, and there are artists who have been able to remain on the charts decade after decade because they were able to adapt without losing themselves. So I think Luther could have absolutely, like I said, with him, just if he'd have sang on, he could have absolutely done Excuse Me, Miss. Or
imagine if with Luther and Whitney doing a duet album.
It could have happened. I don't know. I think they could have done it. Yeah, they could have. I think they could have.
Them like the God tier vocalists.
Yeah.
And I think I asked Facebook like maybe a few years ago, I was like, where do you rank Luther vocally? Everybody was like, number one. Because I don't know who could we compare him to White.
I forgot how many hits he had, to be honest with you. Like the documentary made me like, God damn, I forgot about that.
I told you, I put the documentary on, I had it on my iPad, and then I don't know, all of a sudden it just got real grown in this house. Okay, real grown. And next thing you know, my kitchen was clean. So
you just automatically make you start cleaning.
Automatically, I was in there and I'm like, why am I in here washing dishes? But hey, guess what? Dishes clean. Ain't no dishes in the sink. Because I was watching the Luther documentary. Thank you, Luther. I appreciate you.
Any love, find out any love, like I can't listen to that song now after realizing he's talking about like he couldn't really find love like that. Like I thought it was like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to get on. I mean, I understood it a little bit, but like getting that background, I forgot what gentleman said it on that. He was like, yeah, I hate this song after I really
that it was really him. It wasn't just about finding love, it was finding any love. Like he wasn't the idea that he just was never had that. And that is hard. Like the idea of, I mean, like Trina, people, they're single or whatever, right? But the idea that you've never had found that love.
That's just like his because Christmas just passed, and you putting up the Christmas tree, you make a Christmas playlist. My wife always plays the Luther every year, every Christmas. I've never listened to the lyrics, and she was like, "Yeah, that's a sad love song." I was like, I always just hear the hook, and it's the same like what Stacey talking about. He's looking for love. He's waiting there every year, every Christmas. It's a jam, though, but I'm just not thinking it was a sad song.
It's real.
Luther pretty depressing you on the low. And then even but I don't know if y'all know Lisa Fisher is one of his background singers. But the thing is, though, she won a Grammy first on why she was a background singer. How to Ease the Pain. She was still a background. I was like, hold on, let me look this up. She was still a background singer for Luther and won a Grammy.
Damn.
She stayed with Luther.
Was that Lisa Fisher? Was that Been Around the World? That her too? Yeah.
No, you think Lisa Stanfield?
Lisa Stanfield. Okay, I be getting.
I do too.
Yeah, Lisa Fisher.
I absolutely get them mixed up too because people like Lisa Fisher.
Lisa Fisher does How to Ease the Pain.
Okay.
Like I'm like, I'm gonna look up. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I know who that is. Yeah, I will.
At some point, we had to talk. I mean, Lisa Stansfield was like, was she the first white woman to cross over to black people?
No,
Marie.
No, I'd have been Tina Marie.
Tina Marie. Oh, Marie. You know what? You're right. I'm in our day in the 90s.
Oh, the 90s. Or her, Mariah Carey.
No, it would have been her first.
Black.
I keep thinking, but old Mariah Carey didn't look.
But here's the thing: we ain't know Mariah Carey was white. It was black. We
didn't know she was black until she started getting remixes.
Until Fantasy.
Until she got with Jermaine Dupri.
When her and Tommy Mottola was together, she was a black girl.
Because I ain't gonna
which is so funny though, because she legit had mixed girl hair. Like when you think about it, but she also kind of had the same hair as Jessie on Saved by the Bell. So you just don't know.
Yeah, like she was Jewish. I don't know.
She might have a Jew curl. We don't know. We just get a perm. We don't know. But yeah, Mariah get a little. If she stand out in the sun a little bit, that melanin to come through.
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about the. I know everybody talks about when Luther won his Grammy, and people were like, "Oh, that must have been his lover," because everybody automatic. And I was like, "No, that was his best friend he grew up with." You find out in the doc, like that scene where he won the Grammy, like because both of them are more effeminate men. Got it, Even though as a kid, and even I think I didn't even realize Luther was maybe potentially gay until I was damn near in college. I remember somebody told me, I was like, "No, man, not Luther." And they were like, yeah. And I was like, now looking back as a grown person and understanding sexuality, oh yeah, he was definitely gay.
I realized it when he was in Meteor Man, the way he shot that gun.
Damn.
when you make Luther be a bad guy,
that was one thing that they didn't talk about in there. I wouldn't even talk about Meteor Man in there for some reason. Like,
right. Why ain't y'all bring that up? Yeah, like somebody who was raised by drag queens, I can clock somebody pretty quickly these days. But like, so as a kid, I didn't notice it. But then, like, it's like a little bit older, and he was still alive, and you just would listen to him talk, and I'd be like, okay. But hey, again, not my story to tell your story.
Not my story to tell. Yeah.
It's not my story to tell. And then I also learned there are some men out here that are kind of effeminate or have feminine those mannerisms because they were raised by women or always around women, and they are straight as hell. Like, so sometimes it really isn't just because he talks with his hands or blah, blah, blah. There's some Southern guys that are like that. I always call them I call them little Southern gentlemen, but they are little Southern belles. But they was a guy that I used to work with, and there was nothing you could that would have told you that he was straight. Like, I'm just like, okay, all right, sir. And one day there was like I was at his desk talking to him. There's a picture of him and all these people. And I said, "Oh, who's that?" He was like, "Oh, that's my wife, and that's my son, and my son." Like,
what? You sure?
You're married now? Like that? Like
you girl been married for 15 years.
And then he was like, yeah, I'm like, okay. But there's a word, and I can't think of what it is, but it's like there's a some type of Southern man, and that they're just that's just kind of how they are, but they are men. Like, they are straight men and all, but they just a little something that's a little, and I don't want to say it's because they're from Louisiana, like, but there's a French thing in there, that goes along with it.
The Creole.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, there's a little je ne sais quoi, a little joie de vivre, a little something in there that makes them like that. But they're good and straight. They are not worried about no man. They want a woman. They are attracted to women, but they got that handkerchief and it's Miss Daisy darling. It's like I guess, but Miss Daisy.
They're gonna be the belle of the ball.
Like there's I'm sitting here and I'm laughing because in my mind I'm thinking of an episode of King of the Hill. And Bill Latour Dautrieve, his family that's from Louisiana. Like there's one of them that is very flamboyant. But I think he is gay. But either way though, but he reminded me of the guy from work. And I'm like, dang, like that's exactly how he acted, but he was not. But anywho, moving forward.
Yeah, so
hey, this cool ass Scott from the I Love 90s Music Podcast. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like it on the SOLC network. You finna get all the real deal on the 90s, the 2000s, and the splash of that 80s. Do it right now, man, and I'll be your friend.